The Guajolota Ranch is located in Star and Hidalgo counties in the dense semi-tropical brush country of South Texas. The ranch originated as a Spanish land grant in the 1740s. Although having changed ownership several times during the ensuing years, it has maintained its status as a working cattle ranch. Under the present ownership of the McAllen Land and Cattle Company, the Guajolota Ranch has been intensively managed for the production of trophy-quality white-tailed deer. In 1968, the existing perimeter fences surrounding the 6,125 acres of the Guajolota Ranch were completely replaced by the building of a game-proof fence. The McAllens made a commitment at that time to continue the ranching operations on that particular tract of land as their family had done in the region for nearly 200 years. A full management program for the ranch was developed involving game census, population control, quality control, and habitat management. The Guajolota Ranch is located in a unique situation in the extreme northern portion of the Rio Grande Valley where ranching stops and farming begins. The surrounding land has been largely cleared for farming and improved pasture, making the Guajolota an island of natural brush habitat. The brush varies from extremely dense thickets along ramaderos to open mesquite mottes. Among the traditional shrubs associated with good deer habitat, such as guayacán and Brazil brush, there are the Texas ebony and the nacahuita trees, a wild olive, which are only found in this part of Texas. Among these unusual plants, there are also countless birds and animals that inhabit only this region of the state, such as the white-winged dove, the white-fronted dove, chachalacas, blue quail, and countless songbirds. This native brush country, with its fertile soils and high-quality forage, has long been known for its ability to produce quality white-tailed deer. With the decision to develop commercial trophy hunting on the ranch came questions involving maximizing the production of trophy animals. With the cattleman's insight into herd genetics, Jim McAllen asked the question, what if? What if a superior buck were placed in a breeding pen with several does and their offspring selectively culled for superior antler development? Can herd genetics of white-tailed deer be improved in this manner as it can in cattle? The interest generated by this question brought about the formation of this privately owned project, which was begun in 1977 to conduct genetic research on white-tailed deer. Pens were constructed for this project, and the capture of deer was begun under the authority of a scientific permit issued by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. In 1975, during an annual deer census on the ranch, an outstanding trophy buck was observed. The following year, the same animal was photographed and generated the enthusiasm that has since prevailed. In late October 1978, the same animal that had been observed and photographed and had eluded the hunters for several years was finally captured and then released within the protective confines of the research facilities. Today, he remains the #1 herd sire of the project. Because of the golden color of his antlers, He was later to become known as Golden Boy. Subsequently, many does and several bucks were captured by various methods with various degrees of success and with the expenditure of much time, effort, and funds. As with any new project, much thought and effort were put into the scientific design. The basic design decided upon was line breeding to concentrate the genes of the superior buck in the offspring. Line breeding to the third or F3 generation will produce an animal with 7/8 of the genotype of the herd sire. The line breeding must be accompanied by aggressive culling of male offspring by antler development and female offspring by body weight. Currently, the project has 3 herd lines. 2 lines have herd animals from the Guajolota and surrounding ranches. The third line consists of deer from Nuevo Leon, Mexico. The development and perfection of the facilities to house and handle these research herds have proven to be one of the most time-consuming, frustrating, at the same time, rewarding segment of the research program. The success of a breeding program hinges on the ability to develop and maintain accurate records of the parentage of each fawn born in the pens. This involves the capture, handling, and marking of each animal, along with the taking of other pertinent data such as weight, antler size, and configuration. Early in the project, we discovered that white-tailed deer, acclimated to living in pens, and even deer living their entire lives in the pens, were still wild animals and highly excitable. Attempts to handle the deer resulted in high injury and mortality rates among the deer and prohibitive expenditures in time and effort on the part of the researchers. Taking ideas from wherever possible, including those from a brochure on New Zealand red deer farming and other ideas from the ranching industry, and adding modifications and innovations specifically for white-tailed deer, Jim McAllen designed a handling facility. This reduced the injury and death loss to the animals and allowed the handling of a deer every 8 minutes. The unit, called the merry-go-round by cattlemen, is a circular corral with 7.5-foot solid walls. 2 movable partitions swing from a central post inside the corral. The interior partitions can be used to direct the deer to any one of 12 doors along the perimeter of the corral. These doors may lead to an isolation box, another pen, or a return route to their original pasture. The interior partitions can additionally be used in much the same manner as a cattle squeeze chute to restrain the deer for work or hands-on capture. Using this system, no drugs have been necessary.
These does have all been brought into the circular corral. They're now going to be treated as the buck film previously was, put into isolation compartments. Many of the does, whenever they see an open door, will go into it. We're attempting to put 2 into each box. We have a door in these large movable doors so that we can actually reach in and grab the animals if it becomes necessary. A successful operation. The buck is inside the isolation box we can open the door and recall him whenever we're ready for the use of.
Hey, he's gonna try to jump out.
He's gonna try to go over the top.
Watch out! Squeeze him.
Squeeze him quick. Squeeze him quick. He's gonna try to go over the top. Coming out. Coming out. Coming out.
Los frentes. Los pies de los frentes. Coming down. Go down. Go down. Okay. Dale, baila con las patas. No, que se lo suelte no para nada, le va a dar en la sopa.
The breeding pens themselves are rectangular in design with interconnecting alleys and gates. Each pen has a solid wall feeding unit. The deer enter the feeding units daily to feed in water, coming and going without hesitation. Doors to the feeding units are operated from remote observation posts so desired animals can be caught as they enter to feed. Deer are moved to the merry-go-round for handling by the use of movable plywood partitions and burlap curtains. We believe that this system for handling white-tailed deer is a major breakthrough in our research. With the ability to handle large numbers of deer without injury or death has come the opportunity to participate in other more exotic areas of white-tailed deer research. Currently, we are cooperating with Texas A&M University Department of Veterinary Physiology and Pharmacology in a project designed to collect semen from bucks and successfully artificially inseminate white-tailed does. One example being that a truly superior buck could still, after death, serve as a herd sire and propagate his genetic superiority through artificial insemination.
Well, what we're attempting to do is to develop the capability for doing artificial insemination with white-tailed deer. Now, there are a number of reasons for wanting to do that, to improve the quality of the white-tailed deer in the state of Texas in a number of ways, being able to make them grow into larger deer, grow larger antlers, to be more thrifty, more adapted to the area. The whole program involves quite a number of different steps, and one of those is the collection of semen. And in order to get semen from the very best quality animals, we're looking into the possibilities of getting those sperm cells from the epididymis at the time when the trophy bucks are harvested. So we have frozen some semen from the epididymis and are going to be, for the first time, trying to use it in artificial insemination, trying to get some pregnancies from that semen. In addition, of course, we want to do a controlled experiment, so we're working with fresh semen also. And we just collected some semen this evening and are attempting now to do an artificial insemination with this. I want to stress that this is an experiment. It's research. We're not in the business yet of producing offspring from trophy bucks. We're just trying to learn what is going to be involved, what's going to be required in order to be able to do that. We have been fortunate in being able to work here where the deer can be handled much more conveniently than has been possible before, and we've been able to get the animals to respond to hormones in such a way that we can check heat and tell when the appropriate time to breed is, and also regulate the cycle so that we can breed when we want to. This work at the Guajolota Ranch is our first opportunity to attempt to artificially inseminate white-tailed deer. And to our knowledge, that has not been done before. We did some semen collections here last year and to practice so we'd know how to go about it this evening, and that too was the first white-tailed deer collection of semen that we're aware of. So this has been a real good opportunity, and we're hoping that we'll make some progress at least toward the long-term goal of being able to artificially inseminate and genetically improve white-tailed deer for the state of Texas.
At this time, we are to the F3 generation in line breeding with the Golden Boy herd, F2 with the Bobby herd, and the F1 generation with the Mexico herd. The results are documented, tabulated, and computerized. The results have been enlightening and rewarding. Our new ability to handle the animals safely is a major step forward as it removes the greatest obstacle to the achievement of our goals.
As a cattleman and landowner, I was raised in a household that instilled upon me the value of the wildlife around us. That, coupled with the phrase, what if? What if you took a big buck, caught him and put him in a pen? Could you raise big offspring? That was a challenging goal that spurred this project on. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department for giving us the latitudes in which to work. I'd also like to thank Texas A&M University, Texas A&I University, and the following individuals: Dr. Steve Benson of the Nolana Animal Hospital in McAllen, Bob Gaston, Charles Myers, Edinburgh Hardware, Edinburgh, Juan Luis Longoria, and Dr. Randy Simpson. I'd also like to thank the McAllen Ranch family and the Joe Turcott family from Heavenville. The private research presently being conducted here at the Guajolota Ranch is subsidized 100% by our hunting program, as we receive no outside funds. We, as landowners, have the ultimate decision for the future of the wildlife within our confines. I'm Jim McAllen, and we've made a positive decision for the wildlife here at the Guajolota Ranch. Thank you.